Good evening. I like that. That's called Coast. I like that. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So, I'm not going to be here long, guys. I just want to go through some things. Hi, Hazel Eyes. Hi, Island Girl. Thank you for being a member for 14 months. Christoph. Hi. Marty, ASAP. ASAP. That Lauren Marie, thank you for being a member for 18 months, my DJ Mandingo. Hi, Co-Train. How are you? Did I say hi, Christoph and always? I'm not sure. Hi, Marcia E. Hi, Sasha. Welcome. Dreamsicle. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Dustin. Okay. I think I got everybody. Fight like a girl. Hi, sweetie. How are you? Okay. So let me just get into this. Um, yesterday, last night, Marty, John Yates is alive. He and Geneva were on a live together discussing the circumstances with Lita, Eric, and their deceased infant. Okay. I was on the phone speaking to someone and they were listening to him. So, of course, I was listening. Deborah Best, thank you for being a member for 15 months. Thank you. So I was listening and then I had to go to bed. Okay. I had to go to sleep. And then what was right after I spoke to my sister, because my sister wanted me to go live last night to discuss some stuff. And I'm going to discuss it in a few minutes after I talk about Lita. Yes, please smash the like button. Coltrane, it's been a while. I haven't seen you in a while. It's nice to see you. So last night, John and Geneva were on panel, and they were discussing screen messages or DMs that Eric was doing with someone else. And after going back and listening to a part of it, well, we know that Eric is not speaking directly with John. He said he wanted nothing to do with John or Sherelle or whoever else. And he was asking the person, where is this going to be posted at? Because he wanted to see it. Now, here's the thing. We found out that the dog was rehomed, okay? According to what John and them were saying is that, so they did a timeline for Lita as far as everything that was going on, okay? And according to their timeline, and I'm trying to get to the timeline because I want to make sure I have this correct. On the timeline, they're given dates on which everything happened. I personally don't believe that Lita went to Indonesia. And I'm going to tell you why I say this, okay? Because according to the date, what date did they say Lita went to Indonesia? I don't remember. Does anybody remember the date that they're saying there was a gap where Lita could have went to Indonesia? Because on July 11th, the prosecutors went before a judge and asked that Lita surrender her passport. This was before her arrest, okay? So prosecutors went before a judge on July 11th, and they asked the court to force her to surrender her passport and restrict her travel only to the state of Wisconsin. So July 12th, okay? Hi, Roberta. July 11th is when the prosecutors went to the court for them to get her passport so she can surrender it. They said this was due to a separate investigation, and they had, how did I say it? They have evidence, or they have, they said they had serious concerns that Lita was a flight risk and will make herself unavailable for court proceedings in the near future. So on July 11th, if the prosecutors went to went before the judge and said they had serious concerns. And I'm sure it had to do with some of these voice messages or text messages, okay? That she's a flight risk. And this doesn't make any sense because she was booked on July 17th. She was booked for felony bail jumping. So when did she go to Indonesia? What did Christoph say? It's important. Think it's important to her. Those were Eric's words. So maybe it's just, yeah, it's probably hearsay. Okay. It's probably hearsay. Hi, Rainbow. I'm sorry you're in the bushes. But this is what he's saying. What I also gathered from what John and Geneva was saying was that Eric was fully aware of Lita committing fraud against the government, which is not good for him because my understanding is she became a part of a program saying she was a domestic violence victim. What is it, Hope House? And that she had listed him as visitation with their child. He said that he was always on the road, so he would stay there sometimes. They also stated that she put the Corvette up for sale. John said he couldn't see Lita selling that Corvette. So then, that's what Eric is saying, that she listed the Corvette. Eric also said that he was being forced to go back to court for child support. Nobody should ever have to force you to take care of your kids. Number one, if you're not taking care of your other kid, what makes her think that you're going to take care of this one or her son? So you basically stated with the information that you're giving that you knew and you were party to Lita committing fraud against the government and against a non-profit organization. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Now, Lita was arrested in January for the incident with the dog and domestic violence. Okay? She was arrested in January for that. With everything that he was saying in those text messages. So John's timeline is that on 7/7, she wanted to interview about to get justice. 7/6, he stated, in the timeline, that Lita said that the baby's back had been fractured. 7/6, Lita reported her implications that Eric harmed the baby to the police. I doubt that very seriously, okay? Because Eric even said that Lita turned down EMS for the slap. And then he said that he didn't go down south with it. It was just a slap because he was frustrated. And he got tired of her complaining. And he had to keep talking her down damn near on a daily basis. Those were his words, okay? July 10th, Eric posted that the baby had passed. July 11th, she lists the Corvette for sale. Remember, July 11th, prosecutors went to the judge. Hey, we have a feeling that she's a flight risk. We need her to surrender her passport. On July 16th, they said that was a welfare check done on Lita. The police went to the house, but Lita didn't live at that house, okay? She didn't live there anymore. She didn't tell the court of her new address. So, July 17th, she's arrested for bail jumping. July 18th, she was released. Now, I understand that she's checked herself into a mental hospital because she says that she's the most hated person. She realized she's the most hated person. Girl, you've been knowing that. You've been knowing that you were the most hated person. Been knowing that. Again, Eric, all of this stuff that you're putting out, it's stupid. You're admitting that you knew she was committing fraud. You were a party to it. And like I said when we talked the other day, if the house was in Lita's name, because Sherelle sued Lita, and now we find out that the house is in the company's name but Eric said they lost the company because the truck kept breaking down. Was that the reason why Lita was allegedly embezzling, which miraculously all those charges were dropped when they had her debt to right? Maybe her daddy paid it off, who knows? But where was all this money that she was embezzling? Where was that going? He said that, the company folded. But yet, John and them said that they renamed the company. The house is now in the company's name. And unless and the name is the house, the title is under the company's name, which is under Lita, I guess. Okay. This is just frustrating. Silk print. And she was proud of it. The welfare, see, that's what I don't understand. What was the welfare check for? Who sent someone over for the welfare check? Because according to Eric, all of her neighbors hated her at that apartment complex. But Lita was on live saying that she was going to get her neighbor, because to tow her car, and she was only going to have to pay 100. So Eric has a story. Lita has a story. Somewhere in the middle is the truth. And the truth is, a baby is now deceased. The truth is, Lita was the only adult in that home with that child. That child was not injured when Eric was arrested. Eric stated she refused EMS. We saw the eye. But I don't think it was for very long. Maybe they didn't tell the neighbor. Who knows? This whole thing is very confusing. Yep, the house is under the company's name and Lita is listed as the only owner. Now, did they do that because, which doesn't make sense, because if the charges, what I need to find out, and I need to go look at the address and look at when all of this changed. When did they do all of this? When was this, just in July? Because that's not listed on their timeline. And why would Eric go along with this? Again, he's stating that he's committing fraud. He's admitting to committing fraud against a non-profit organization. Period. He was committing fraud. He was a party to it. Lita can't force you to do all these things. You are a grown-ass man. You let her run your daughter away, put your daughter out of an apartment that it was in her name, I think, or his name too, but had been living there even though the shit was dirty as hell. This man turned his back on his own children. What do you think he was going to do? But again, I don't think that she had any intentions. I really think she lost her temper. We saw it with the dog. He's saying that he had to talk her down. I understand John saying that he thinks that Eric is trying to give Lita some type of, I don't know. It's not an alibi. He's trying to defend her. I don't get that. I don't know what Eric is thinking. I really don't. But he changed his status to single or separated. That's what he changed his status to. When did Lita have time to leave the country? Where is her son? They're saying that she flew to Indonesia. That's almost 22, 24 hours from Wisconsin to take her son to her parents and then fly back to the United States. Why would you do that, Lita? Because you're supposed to be so smart. Why wouldn't you stay in Indonesia? Because there is no extradition laws between the United States and Indonesia. Did you not look that up? None of this makes sense to me. Eric is afraid of her, Cece. You think so? You thought Perry had a lien on the Corvette. I don't think so. Because they could have forced her to sell that Corvette. He looks like he has no assets for child support. That's what I think, Party Rock. What did Party Rock say? Hi, Bevy. In my opinion, I think she lost her cool. See, Bevy, that's what I said. Bevy, hold on. Let me get to you, Bevy. Bevy, that's exactly what I said. She lost her temper the same way she did with that dog. And that's just it. Eric, according to what he was texting to whoever he's talking to, okay, um, she had, she's mental. He said, and she herself said that she always has ideations of self-harm. But I think she does it just to get him to do what she wants to do. Okay? Um, Eric even thinks that Lita actually harmed that child. But again, hi, sweet bomb. But again, he's Party Rock exactly. They were moving stuff into her name because she is not responsible for his child support. Exactly. That's why they would. Well, that's what she was telling him, and he probably fell for it. So he has no rights to that house. He has no rights to that company. They were doing it so Eric can get a lower amount in child support. He's going to be indigent. He doesn't have, he's not going to pay what he normally would be able to pay with a salary. She had no injury. She had a watery eye. And then why, if you're so scared of this man, why do you drop these allegations? And now you're claiming mental defect? Really? You're a sociopath. You're a psychopath. You're evil. You're an evil, evil woman. You're racist. You're homophobic. I just don't understand this. So again, I just I heard John. I saw the messages. I actually went back, and then Eric says he was planning on writing a book about the producers, or what is it? About Sharp Entertainment. Eric, there's been so many people that have been out there talking about Sharp Entertainment. I think you're kind of late with that one, okay? There's people with their own podcast talking about Sharp Entertainment. There's people, shit. We have the people off of Platteville now talking about TLC and Sharp Entertainment. You're kind of late. Hi, sweet potato. My focus is what happened to that child. Hi, Sassy. There is a child that is now deceased. I don't think he's trying to give her a way out. Not at all. That's not what I'm getting from this. I see he's trying to distance himself from it. But for the fact that she checked herself into a psychiatric hospital on Sunday, this woman is setting up an alibi. She's going to go with postpartum. If she doesn't use the postpartum, either that or she's going to lie and say that her son did something to that child. That's what, hi, Dorit. That's what he should write a book about, his psychotic wife. Eric knows Lita is psychotic. He stayed with her, what did John say, 10 years? He's been with her for 10 years, put up with all this bullshit, her writing all of these fake reviews about places that she's contracted to do business, and then she doesn't want to pay them. So then she starts leaving nasty messages or nasty reviews, just like her previous attorney that was representing her. And then I heard John was talking about when they went to court. And I remember that because at the time, I was on panel with John, and he was really, really frustrated, and he was upset because the judge didn't really let him talk. She was crying, acting like he was doing. And Lita is the one that started with John. He was responding. I'm going to give him that. Hi, Jen's mom, all because he wouldn't take her side over Devin's. Lita is psychotic. She's still legally responsible. Yes, she is. So my question is, why is Eric giving out all this information? He actually said the police think that Lita is a person of interest. Of course, she would be a person of interest. And why would Lita tell Maria or whoever she told, I think it was Maria, that her son was taken by CPS? And why would Eric think that she went to Indonesia? I'm trying to figure out, when did she go? Because if they received that court order on July 11th, and they probably did, with presenting the judge with the evidence that they had, that judge would have signed it right then and there. When did she go to Indonesia? And who placed a welfare check? And why was a welfare check called in on Lita? But when did she send him away? Do you realize that is a long ass flight? You're going to spend damn near a day in the air, or 22 hours, 23, to fly to Indonesia, in and out. Well, I actually went to Italy last year, so, but that was a week. That was a week. What is her son? He's 11 or 12. When he came here, he was what, 4? How old was the little boy when he came here? 3? I'm thinking he's 12, 13. See, they should have the autopsy by now. They really should. And if Eric is saying that the ME is, he went into this thinking that Lita harmed that child. And with the death investigation, they're going to give, I mean, because they're going to do all the thing. I don't think she poisoned the baby or nothing like that. But they're going to do all of that. He was 3 or 4 when he came here. She said, hi, Wisco. Wisco, the area that Lita lives in those apartments, is that a nice area? He's around 11 or 12. Okay, 11 or 12, somewhere around there. Somewhere around there. But how did she get, but according to what Jonathan was saying, according to what Eric was saying, because they're just going by his messages, that she used that program stating that she was a domestic violence victim. Hi, Glenn Crack. Stating she was a domestic violence victim to get into this housing. So that means to me that there's not a big waiting list where she's at. So that means that there's not a big waiting list where she's at, that she can just jump into housing like that. Yeah, the top screen is the only thing that's gonna take a while. Hi, Star. Did I see your comment? No, sweetie. Hold on. Let me go back and find it. I'm trying to understand the messages, and it looks like Eric is saying Lita went to Indonesia late Saturday, 7/12, and came back Wednesday, 7/16. Is that even possible? There's a possibility, but here's the thing. The prosecutors went to the judge on July 11th and asked that Lita, asked that she has her passport surrendered because of a separate investigation, meaning the death of that baby. They said it's an ongoing criminal case, is what was stated. They asked the court to force her to surrender her passport and restrict her travel to the state of Wisconsin. How did she fly out of here? So they're going to look at all of that because they're going to look at her money. They're going to see if she booked a flight. They're going to check flight logs because this is all being put out in the public. This is being put out in the public. So that makes no sense to me. That makes no sense. I don't know when she would fly. And who called in a welfare check? And where is Eric getting this information? No, it was Lita that was arrested. Lita was arrested. That was that dog incident when her going after the dog with the laptop. That was Lita. That was Lita. That's who that was. So again, I'm honestly trying to figure out, when did she fly? I heard them say that there is a gap for her to fly. But how? That's the only thing I want to know. How did she fly? Because once that judge signs that, she's going to be on a watch list, especially if they're doing a criminal case. She is on a watch list. She's on a watch list. So with, and I get it. John and them are only going by the messages and everything else. Again, she declined EMS. And just like when I was speaking to Amber when all of this happened, I said, if Eric would have done anything to that baby, she would have told the police officers. Then you hear her say in the recording, she doesn't know if he did anything to the baby because her eyes were closed. Girl, stop. Hi, Amber. That's what I'm thinking. They went before that judge on the 11th. On the 11th. But she didn't get arrested until the 17th because the fact that she did not notify them of her address change. Hi, Snuggle. He probably is. My understanding is he's paid her way out of other things. And I heard the recording of her talking uh, about the murder or whatever, and that her dad paid her way. She was talking about this on July 5th. 11 has the recording up. Eleven has the recording up. So again, the facts are there's a deceased baby. And then the letter that she wrote to the judge to dismiss that RO against Eric, which was dismissed. Okay. My Hi Daddy's disappointment. I don't think she was in Indonesia for that long of a time. I think she went to the airport, met someone who picked up her son, and she got back on a plane. I don't think she ever left the airport. Okay. Okay. Because, Daddy, that's 22, 23 hours from there, from Wisconsin, from where she's at. That's how long that flight is. But why come back to the United States? Why come back to the States when there's no extradition law between Indonesia and the United States? Why come back? You can't love Eric that much. Why come back? But she's been getting away with so much shit since she's been here. I don't think her son is in Indonesia. I don't think she ever went to Indonesia. I'm sure they're going to check her credit cards or even the flight, because they will check flight records. I don't think that child is in Indonesia. I just don't. Coot said she saw the little boy in the back seat, but that was July 5th. That eye wasn't that serious. Hi, Chantel. There is no way. That's what I'm saying. I think Eric is being told this, or somebody is telling him this. He was arrested on July 5th, the day after the 4th of July. He was arrested, and then the baby was taken after 3 something. She called 319. She called 911. I want to get that 911 call. Oh, damn. I should see, can I get that 911 call? Probably can't. It's a criminal investigation now. Damn it. So he was arrested, and then he had more charges added a few days later. But he was arrested. He was taken into custody. Eric was not with that baby. Nope, she's not stupid. I'm telling you, when she's going to the sports, and then she's playing it up now too. She's not mental. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. She's just evil. She's smart. And I don't think she believed that this would get this far. See, that's another thing. He may be lying, but Lita told, and if I'm mistaken, please correct me. Didn't Maria say, or someone said, I'm thinking Maria. No. Well, yeah. Brooke said on E11's panel that Maria told her, according to Lita, the baby, the little boy, was in CPS's custody. That's what was said. Now, and then she goes, oh, but he's fine. Okay, of course she's going to say he's fine. Let's see. She lost her daughter and she's over it already. She's over it. But now the baby is fine. She would have flown out of her hair. Yes. But why would she hide him from Eric? Eric has no legal rights to that child. And does she has friends around? Oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh well, it'll be good. Okay, does she have yeah, Eric was arrested around 2 a.m. on Saturday, July 5th. She is very calculated. The IG videos are on E11's channel. Could somebody drop E11's channel for me, please? Ooh, Star. That makes sense. I think she has been using Maria because let's just think about this. She knows that Maria can't hold water. Okay? Let's think about this. Anne knew she had the baby. Anne knew that it was a difficult delivery. Anne knew all of this, but Maria didn't. That Kibis lady or John posted the CPS custody thing. How would John get the CPS? Oh, was it just a conversation? Because normally if there's a death, of a child, an unattended death or an unattended accident or incident, first thing they're going to do is call CPS to come in and remove the remaining children. Hi, Simply Sophie. I don't know if she has any friends in Wisconsin, um, but the lady that she was filming with and doing these photography photos when her and Eric had their channel, I don't know, maybe they're friends. Don't know. Have no idea. It was the inquiry notice. Oh, yeah, because that's when they posted the notification. Yes, I posted that. So CPS was involved then. So I don't know who's telling Eric that the child is in Indonesia. He's just saying that. So he said in one of the messages to whoever he's talking to, he says that the little boy is with his grandparents. It's not in state custody, still waiting on the autopsy results. You're waiting. The police are not. They probably have them. Everyone feels it was intentional, though. Even the ME went into it from feeling like that. So did Eric speak to the medical examiner? Did Eric speak to the medical examiner? Because this is what he's putting in DMs. And then he wants to know where is it going to be at so he can read it. He says, all my interviews have been questions about her and subsequently about our son, who's very autistic. They told me I was not a person of interest given I was sitting in jail. He said, her statements that night, and I said it before I even saw this, if Eric would have done anything to that child, Lita would have told the police. If that child would have been hit in any manner, that would be a yell, that would be a howl, because they don't know anything. If they have any kind of discomfort, babies are going to scream. I'm thinking, and everything in me is trying not to think she did this intentionally, but even in a fit of anger, like she went after that dog, she probably did it to that child. She had no attachment to that child at all. If her dad has custody of her son, why isn't the son with the dad? I mean, with her dad. But he doesn't want it to be known for texting, but yet he wants to know where is this going to be at because he wants to read it. That makes no sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense. And maybe I shouldn't be, playing detective here, but I'm not. I'm just looking at what's being presented. And there is a disconnect with everything. Okay, you texted it to me? Hold on, let me go get it. Told you I'm not around my phone like that. Hold on, let me go get my phone. Okay, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Is John blocked? Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. I need to unblock John. Hold on. I just saw this 432. Okay, Christy, hold on. Let me. Shit. Community. Uh, Customization. Community. Y'all know they changed. Okay, settings. Hold on. Let me go. Okay, hold on. Let me go see John Yates. John Yates. John Yates. John Yates. Hold on, John. Hold on. I need to unblock John. Hold on. They have changed this shit. Hold on. Let me go down here. I'm going to unblock John. Hold on, John. I'm coming. It's not funny. Is he blocked? Hold on. I don't see John. Hold on. I'm coming. John, John, John. Hold on. Y'all think this is funny. I don't see John. Hold on. I don't see John. Okay, I have it. I have it. All right, John is unblocked. John is unblocked. Okay. John, I unblocked you. Okay, guys, please be nice. Okay. Please be nice. Okay. I unblocked John. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I need to change my settings. Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I need to change my settings. 9 hours. I know, Cooch. I just saw that. And I'm that's not what I meant to do. Okay, let me take this off. Okay, I took it off. All right, John. Come on in. Okay, so John's gonna come in. Please be nice, everybody. Please, 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 please. Okay, so John's gonna come in. He's got new information. So John's gonna come in. He's making a run real quick. Thank you, Christy. So I just unblocked him. I took off the 9 hours, and that was a mistake. I was trying to take off the reactions. So again, that timeline to me, and I listened and what they were presented with. And this today I went back and I was reading all the messages because I was just listening to John and Geneva reading it. And I was in Jen's, right? And Kendra said her name is Geneva, not Geneva. I said, I normally call her Geneva, but then I heard Cooch the other day calling her. She went between Geneva and Geneva. So I was laughing. I was like, okay, let's see. Can he tell us if he believes Eric? Well, he's coming. He's coming. And let me put the link in the chat. He's going to come. And, oh, Lord. Okay, I'm going to put the link in the chat for him. You got it, sister. And please, any comments about Jen, any racist comments, whatever, get rid of them. Yep, it's time to just do this for the better. Hi, Gigi May. It's no problem. But we're waiting on John. So while we're waiting on John, you guys just get your questions together. Get your questions together. If he knows, I'm sure he's going to answer them. And God, I'm going to be denounced by Maria. Jesus Christ. Oh, isn't that funny? I think it's funny. Let's just talk about this for a minute. So I find out today in George's chat that Maria denounced Brooke because Brooke went into John's chat. But you're speaking to Geneva and you're speaking to the B, who said all kind of vile shit about Brooke's child and Brooke and her family. Does that make sense to anybody? Is he here? I don't see him. Is John here? I dropped the link. Okay, guys, I don't see John. Is he here? Oh, she's being funny. Okay. She's like, hi, hello, John Yates here. Who are we talking about? I got free identity. We're talking about Lita. We're talking about Lita. Is Eric innocent? Hi, Gypsy. How many DV arrested Eric have before Lita? You know what? I don't think his ex-wife ever arrested him for DV, did she? I know she said he drank a lot. I'm going to have to go back and look at Auntie's advice because she did an interview with the daughter and the ex-wife. Well, the only thing I blocked him from was my channel. Okay. But I had a message. He's got new information and I'm going to want to hear this and he's going to pop in. So anyway, we're going to wait. But I was laughing and then George plays shackles on, get these shackles off my feet. Again, Brooke is a grown-ass woman. You can't tell her where to go. Brooke didn't testify for you. Wait a minute. Oh, nobody's going to ask him questions about Maria. That won't happen in here. That will not happen in here. And if they do, he's not going to answer it. Because I went early, health. I'm sorry. I went early. Lori had a good day in court. Oh, I don't know. Did Lori have court today? Yeah, he can't answer. So don't ask him anything about her at all. And if anybody asks any questions about Maria in the chat, please just remove it. Oh, it was mentioned in the chat. Okay, if you see anything about Maria or trying to ask him any questions about Maria, okay, Rainbow, you were being funny. Just delete it, okay? Delete it. I won't even put it up on the screen. Hi, Volty. Hide them if they're trolls. Hide them. If they're saying racist stuff, they don't belong in here. If they come in here saying anything about Jen, hide them. They don't belong in here. If they come in here with Jen's name, hide them. Hide them. I don't time out. I hide. Okay, so let me drop this link again. Where's my phone? See, I had to. Lori did have court, but haven't seen anything on it. Oh, okay. Okay, hold on a second. Let me make a call. Hold on. I just need to make a quick call to see how long, because if he's not going to be here right away, I can show you guys whatever what I want to show you. Matter of fact, I'm going to show it to you right now. So when John comes, I'll go back to Lita. But let me show you this real quick. My sister sent this to me. And of course, my sister knows this family. Did Maria finally take a nap or go to bed after her bed? I have no idea. I don't even read her community tabs. I just don't. I don't care about her community shit and all that.
A former New Orleans choir teacher made his first court appearance today after being arrested on multiple counts of sexually exploiting a minor. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Sharice Gibson. Josh Kegler, a well-known gospel singer, is being held without bond tonight. Whitney Miller was in court today and also visited Kegler's neighborhood, where the news is sending shockwaves through the community.
Josh Kegler sat quietly in court today, accused of unspeakable crimes. The gospel singer and former choir instructor faces multiple charges related to the sexual exploitation of a 16-year-old boy, including sex trafficking and rape. Before the hearing began, Kegler spoke briefly to a court-appointed attorney. Then he sat in the back of the holding box, seemingly avoiding reporters. Kegler is charged with 5 counts of trafficking of children for sexual purposes, 5 counts of indecent behavior with juveniles, 1 count of third-degree rape, and 1 count of sexual battery. The state requested key records in the case be sealed, and the judge agreed. Kegler will remain behind bars with no bond until his next hearing on Monday. Then a judge will decide if bond will be granted. Kegler is known in the city's gospel music scene. He performed at Mayor LaToya Cantrell's second inauguration and contributed vocals to a Grammy-winning gospel album. I met with some of Kegler's neighbors who say he was new to the neighborhood and seemingly nice and quiet. I also spoke off camera with one of his church members who say they are shocked by the allegations that they say don't align with Kegler's character. The allegations stem from text messages found on a teen's phone. The 16-year-old told investigators Kegler lured him to his home, offered marijuana, and later paid him for sexual acts. The teen says when the contact escalated physically, he tried to stop it. NOPD says Kegler used money to groom and manipulate the child. Warren Easton Charter High School confirms Kegler was on staff during the 2024-2025 school year, but says he is no longer employed there. The school is cooperating with police. Meanwhile, Kegler's neighbors told us they're stunned. Some noticed a police presence Tuesday morning, but didn't know why. Police believe that there could be more victims, so they're urging anyone with information to come forward, and they're promising that privacy and safety will be protected. In New Orleans, Whitney Miller, WWL, Louisiana.
Okay. Also, let me just let you know this man has AIDS.
It's about a story sending shockwaves through the education community and involved the.
Okay, hold on. Let me get rid of this. Let me stop sharing. John, let me drop the link for you. Oh, yeah, that's the right link. All right, there you go, John. And thank you for coming in. Oh my God, my hands are sweating. This is crazy. My hands are sweating. Can anybody see the link? Okay, I dropped the link for John. John only, unless you have something to contribute. Okay, John, I dropped the link if you want to come on panel. Okay, John said that the baby was completely fine on July 4th. Vote. Oh, yeah, Vote needs her wrench. Hold on. That's because she deleted her damn channel. Hold on. Let me give Vote her wrench. All right, Vote. There's your wrench. Even the police checked the baby out. It was happy and in good spirits. John, can you come on panel so you can get up here and talk? I promise I won't drop you and I won't be mean. I'll be nice. Oh my God, now I need to pay attention next time I miss Savage. I hope she's okay. Okay, so you guys are reading what John is putting in the chat? Yep, then the baby went to the hospital July 5th. John, I really want you on panel because I want to know, do you believe that Lita went to Indonesia? Because the prosecutors, nothing was surrendered before she left. So she did go to Indonesia, or is Eric just saying that? Because that's so long as, well, even if she didn't leave the airport, why would you come back to the United States when there's no extradition laws between the United States and Indonesia? That doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense. John, are you sure she went to Indonesia? Is the only proof, is there only proof, or is what Eric is saying? See, that's what I want to know. I bet she met her parents halfway. That could be a possibility, Gypsy. That could be a possibility. That's what I don't understand. Because Lita is smart, okay? She's psychotic. She's a sociopath, but she's smart. If she knows that they're going to do an autopsy, because, she told them she wanted an autopsy immediately, which that was going to happen anyway. It just doesn't make sense to me. See, that just doesn't make sense to me at all. Maybe her surrender passport has a recent stamp. See, that could be it too, because they would see that there was a stamp. I'm only going by what Eric said, but it makes sense why she was so cavalier about her son being in state custody. Um, oh, okay. Okay, got it. Okay, so John is in the car and he's answering as he gets to stoplights, guys. Okay, so could her parents be here? Mm. Not if she's saying that she went to, well, not if Eric is saying she went to Indonesia, but it would be easier for her parents to meet her halfway someplace. You know what I mean? It would be easier because I can't see her doing that turnaround trip like that. 7 days wore me out, which is only 9.5 hours. But she had 22, 23 hours. I'm not sure. Lita told the YouTuber the state had it. Then Eric is saying she dropped him off in Indonesia. Then she told someone else a completely different story, which I can't get into. Okay, so it's a completely different story. Now, John, let me ask you a question since you're in the chat. Is Lita's son nonverbal? Because it was said on TikTok that her son was nonverbal. Eric says that the son is severely autistic in the messages that I was reading from your live. Is the child nonverbal? Because I have a bad feeling she's going to try. Hi, George. She's going to try to blame it on that child. Yeah, Lita's psychotic. She's psychotic. After she had the RO, I saw the letter that you posted when she was asking the court to dismiss the RO. I saw that. I also heard Brooke was on the panel with E11 stating that she was trying to get Maria to call Eric because he wasn't responding to her. Alyssa was in the back seat when Lita was doing the. See, Coop said she saw him in the back seat. She said she saw him in the back seat. Oh, Star, don't say that. Because, Star, I'm telling you, something is not right here. Has Eric spoken to her parents? Her passport, yep, the passport would be stamped. Which question, Lauren Marie? I don't want to answer the wrong thing. Hold on, let me see what question Lauren Marie had. Hold on. Let me go see, can I find it? I'm trying to find Lauren Marie's question. Lauren Marie, could you put that question back again, please? Because I don't see it. I don't see it. I also saw him in the back seat of the car while she was pumping breast milk and the baby was in the hospital. Yes, I think the parents are right here in the States. You think? Well, no, because Lita said, well, you know what? We can't believe everything Lita says. I hope I'm wrong. It's a sick feeling. I'm serious. I have like this metal taste now that you're saying that. John can't take the link. He's driving. Yeah, well, he can come on panel camera off. I'm now questioning if she did something to her son, and that's why he now has disabilities. Totally a theory, zero proof. Oh. Okay, so the area that Lita lives in is low income, is not a nice area. Okay. So you said Eric was arrested at the Quickie Mart, right? Or Right Quick, whatever that thing was. John said Lita said she wanted to, she wanted to try for a boy after she dropped that RO, and she wanted him to go with her to another country. That was after the baby passed. Yes, that was after the baby passed. Didn't John say he was communicating through her sister? I don't know. Okay, he said give him like 15 minutes. Okay, I don't know if he's talking to her sister or not. She's trying to manipulate him, Star. She's trying to manipulate him. First, she was trying to say, "Hi, Susan Newhart." I don't know if Eric adopted her son or not, but he's still. But I think she was trying to manipulate him, and um, but the thing is, they've had a weird relationship. He has forsaken his own kids for this woman. Don't know why. I don't know if the parents were supporting them, but then Lita is committing theft allegedly. No, she was, and then she got off on the charges. So, but she still had the animal cruelty stuff and the domestic violence. Now she's pleading insanity. Girl, you've been psychotic for as long as I can remember. Oh, I hope she didn't do anything to Elise. I really do. But I swore that little boy used to talk. Maybe it was just in my head. All men want a son. She was trying to snake the idea of a son as a carrot to get him to run with her and start over. That could be it too. That could be it too. Remember Lauren's question and her sister's question, please. Where is Lauren Marie's question? John said, okay, I have that one. I asked if that was after. Okay, Lauren, I have it. I'm going to put it up on the screen. This is just sad. This whole thing. Everybody seems to, I mean, even 90-day memes, all the 90-day groups on Facebook are stating that this woman did something to her child, and everybody is not wavering from that. No one is wavering from that. Eric even thinks that that she did something to that child according to these emails. Oh my God, so Jeffrey Epstein's defense lawyer Roy Black is dead at 80. Oh, okay. So let's see. I'm going to ask him that too. I'm going to ask. But the thing is, I don't know if he can give his sources, but then Eric should know who's giving all this information out, since he should know who he's talking to, or maybe who he thinks he's talking to. But I know when John was reading that he wanted nothing to do with John or Sherelle. And John is the one that's putting it out. Narcissists don't like having children the same sex as them. It's You know what? Sassy? That is a good point. He was a witness, so she rushed to get him out of the country, or her parents are here and have him. But what, Heidi, if her son is nonverbal, now it's possible he used to speak when he was younger. Okay, because I'm telling you, I swore that little boy was talking. Yes, Jane, they are. Yes, they are. And Hope House got her in. It was fraud. Yes, and Eric admitted to him being a part of fraud. So, Star, somebody I was on TikTok the other day, right? And I don't know if it was Lee or someone else that covers 90 Day. They said they have a feeling that Lita had been abusing that child when Eric wasn't around. And then we find out last night that the dog was rehomed. So she can't pick on Eric, and he's talking her off the ledge. He says damn near daily. If she can't pick on Eric, Alyssa, who knows what she's done to that child? If that child turns out to have been abused. But I think Eric would have recognized if that child was being abused. But he did say he wasn't home a lot and he was sleeping in the truck. And sometimes he would stay there. Okay, I believe that too. Okay, Amber. Oh, because Eric did call the little boy his son. Yeah, I saw that Leah. Yeah, I saw Leah Black husband died. I mean Lee Black's. See, that's just it. Maybe she was trying to get rid of the asset, but okay, she put the car up for sale. John said he can't see her selling that car. That's a prized possession. But if the car was in her name and Eric's name, and they're trying to hide assets, and then she has an Audi as well, where is Lita getting all this money from? But she's living in low income housing. That makes no sense to me because she would have to sell all that shit. That doesn't make any sense to me. Again, that's just me thinking out loud. That doesn't make any sense to me. You hear people saying that they can't get food stamps because they're saying that they make too much money or the kind of car they drive. So they committed fraud. Some Asian cultures do not value female children. That's true. Amber, I'll drop the link if you want to come up too, because John's going to come up. So if you want to come up, there's the link. Yeah, the police are investigating, and they said it's a criminal investigation. Is what the term was. Criminal investigations. Some Audis are cheap. Some Audis are cheap, but the maintenance on those Audis, trust me, I looked at getting an Audi. The maintenance is probably worse than what I'm doing right now. Yep, he had one daughter, and that's the one that she was forcing him to go back to court for, I guess, to reduce his child support payments. See, I didn't even see Sherelle R. Perry. Yep, she was embezzling. But how did she get out of it, though? Did she pay back the money? Did her parents give her the money to pay them back? Yep, everybody wants justice for that child. And that's what I'm thinking. She was angry. She lost her temper. The child probably started crying, but you're pumping like nothing is going on. Lita, you do know that you can go to a doctor and get pills to dry up that milk, right, Lita? You do know that, right? You do realize that because your baby was on life support. You could have went to, since you were worrying about your car, paying $100 to get it towed, worrying about your hair, changing your photo to look more professional. You should have went to the doctor and got those pills to dry up your milk. Did they lease the car or purchase with a car loan? I don't know. Oh my God, Maria shared a page out of a book and taught her how to check cotton. She was really, yes, yes, yes. Oh, Amber, I dropped the link. I thought if you wanted to come up. Yes, Wisco Gal doesn't live that far from Lita and Eric. Yep, she was living in low income housing. I don't think anything's holding up the autopsy. I think the police have the autopsy. Now, I heard John said that Eric said when the baby was born, hi, Texas girl, that the umbilical cord was wrapped around the child's neck. We know she told Ann that she had a difficult delivery, but we heard her saying she had a C-section. So a C-section, so maybe she was trying to have a natural birth, not natural, but regular birth. Then complications arose. So then they decided to go in and do an emergency C-section, because if you get a C-section, that's not a complicated delivery. Okay, they set an appointment, they come in, they prep you in your room, they wheel you in. Matter of fact, before they wheel you in, they knock you the fuck out. And when you wake up again, you have a baby. So, but she told Anne that it was a difficult birth. But then we heard her say that she had a C-section. So maybe, she was, they were trying to get her to deliver vaginally and something went wrong and it was an emergency C-section. Ooh. Have a good evening, sweet bomb. Yep. So they committed fraud. Okay, hold on. She sent me the link. Where's my damn phone? Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me go. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me get to my phone. Okay. Got him. Okay, so okay. So Eric is even saying she was trying to pin it on him. She says that her son for coming back was for love. Oh, her reason for coming back to the United States was for love and believes we can salvage this. Is she crazy? Is she crazy? I I do believe Lita is crazy. She thinks that her and Eric can salvage this. Oh, they don't have to peel to see. I don't even know, girl. All I know is when I did it, I said, I want the pills. I'm not breastfeeding nothing and no one. Nothing and no one am I breastfeeding. I don't want nobody hanging off my tits. Not at all. Sorry. Can't do it. Okay. So let me see. Let me go look at John's stuff real quick because I had to. Oh, not him. Oh, that's the wrong person. Okay. Um, yeah, I can't get John's because I don't follow. I don't know. I got him blocked somewhere on IG. So yeah, let's see. Um, Star, I'll drop the link if you want to come up too. Anybody can come up. Please just come on up. I'm trying to read all you guys' comments. I really am. Maybe she had. Wait a minute. It jumped. Um, she's in psychosis. Girl, stop. Eric has all the dirt on her. Of course, she's going to try to beg him to stay. Um, okay, hold on a second. Let me go here. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, sorry,
Hey.
you dropped the link and then my daughter called, and so I missed the last, whatever, 10 minutes of what you said.
No. So Amber,
Yeah.
you know Lita. I mean, you guys
Mm-hmm.
were friends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what are your feelings?
She's guilty, as Jeffrey Dahmer and Marilyn Manson was.
So is Elise was it Elise? Is
Hello.
he
Mm-hmm.
nonverbal?
Um, Not from what I remember. I don't remember that.
Neither do I. That's what's making this because somebody on TikTok said the child was nonverbal. I'm like, I could have swore when they were on YouTube, I would hear that child.
Yeah. And I mean, I think like maybe he was like nonverbal when she first came over here because, of course he didn't know English. He didn't, like he wasn't fluent in English. So it may have been the fact that, he wasn't comfortable to speak on camera or be, and I think she kind of kept him away from the camera for that purpose. So I think it would be, I mean, plausible to think that. he could speak now. I mean, it's been what, 5 years?
She's been with Eric for 10, right? 10.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's been, yeah. So I remember, I mean, I looked at, some of the, like the old clips of her, and, his oldest daughter, getting into it. And, I remember seeing Aleph like on the floor, with another girl and then saying, mommy, mommy,
See,
something.
yep, I remember when he was on the show. You remember when the grandfather was here?
Yeah,
And the when they all came and they were and the sister was talking to Elise, he was speaking. I'm not
yes,
crazy.
that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe he wasn't as verbal as most kids his age, but
Yeah.
now I think he is. I mean, but that to me reeks of why she would want to get him out of the United States. I just,
Amber, I'm seriously thinking she's gonna try to blame this on this little boy.
I don't, I don't believe that. I think she's going to try to say that she was crazy. I think she is crazy if she went over there and came back like an idiot. I don't think she realized that if she was in fact in Indonesia, I don't think she realizes that Indonesia wouldn't even extradite her back. She had a free home run if she was actually in Indonesia last week or whenever that was. Why even come back? It doesn't make sense unless it is all to like collect as much money as possible on everything that she has up for sale.
Okay, I'm asking the question again. Indonesia. I'm asking the question again because uh and the US. I'm asking and the United States. No, there is no formal extradition treaty
Yeah,
between the United States and
nope.
Indonesia.
I mean, if she was over there this past week, she was out of the United States. She had a free home run. She should have never came back.
And I know Lita's not she's far from stupid.
But I'm saying, like, she sent the boy away so the cops won't. Yeah, that I believe, Mayday. I do believe that she sent the boy over back to Indonesia because that's going to put holes in her story if they interview him. But again, that doesn't, to me, it's just weird because it's like, why come back though? I don't get it. Why come back?
Because when I heard John say that last night, well, yeah, I heard that part last night. And then I said, nah, she's not that crazy. So I went to look. I said, there is no extradition treaty. They may cooperate, but there is no legal binding anything to force
Right,
them to send her back.
right. That's my whole thing. Nonverbal can mean limited to no speech. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think even if he is nonverbal, I think that he could speak enough or reenact
Yep.
something, and I think that's what she's afraid of. Because I mean, he's not that same little kid that was on the TV. He is grown up some and more mature. So I don't know.
Because you remember on a recording, she was like, her daddy said, Lita, I want you to come home. No, I need you to come home, I guess. I don't want you to get killed. So if that was the case and she went to bring her son, why didn't her daddy keep her there?
I don't know.
Yeah, she's not going to come back. You can sell. Okay, I'm going to give you a perfect example. My son and his wife were in Italy. I sold her Mercedes here. She signed the title. She sent it to me. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, John said he needs 5 minutes. Okay, John.
Yeah.
She signed the title. She sold it. They transferred the money to her. I, in turn, gave them the title. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
They did a wire transfer to her bank.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if that's the law in Wisconsin. Hold on. Can a spouse be forced to testify in Wisconsin? Let's go take a look. Y'all got me on my P's and Q's tonight.
Hmm. That would show
Okay.
actually how mentally ill she is, thinking she's going to get out of this. Oh, yeah, that's true. Let's go. Let's go. I
But
mean,
she's saying
I
that
just,
she said she's scared for her safety.
that's BS. Mm-mm.
In Wisconsin, a spouse generally cannot be forced to testify against their partner in a criminal case. This is due to spousal testimony. Now, he can't be forced, but he can voluntarily do it,
Oh, I
which
think he's voluntarily going to tear that ass up.
Yep, which allows the spouse to refuse to give adverse testimony against their partner in court. The privilege applies in criminal cases and grand jury proceedings. They can't
Hmm.
force him, but he can, of his own free will,
That's what she
testify.
needs to be afraid of. Because, man, listen, love or hate Eric all you want to, you got to realize what this heifer put him through. I mean, he's not innocent by any means because,
No,
he played in with all that crap, kicking his own daughter out. I'll be damned if a woman came in or a man told me that my kids have got to go. But regardless of it, I mean, the dog, the embezzlement, the constant police, the restraining orders, the lawsuit. Like, you think he's
she's
gonna
a
not
stain on
testify again?
Wisconsin.
Hmm?
I said she's a stain on the state of Wisconsin.
She's a stain on the whole entire planet.
Damn. But that's your friend. Look, that was
No,
your
it ain't.
friend.
No, she sent me she sent me some Yves Saint Laurent red lipstick that she wore on the show, and I was thankful, and that was it.
That's what I was saying, Outlaw Cat. TSA, once you give them that ID, you think they're just matching it with no, they're scanning your ID for any
Yep.
outstanding warrants or criminal. They scan
Mm-hmm.
those ID.
Yep. True.
Okay, I like John has Eric because Eric didn't want anything to do with John, according to what John read.
Mm-hmm.
We don't. The baby died in Lita's custody. The baby, from my understanding, was when EMS arrived, the baby was unresponsive, and they got the heart to beat again. Don't know how long the baby's brain was without oxygen, so she was put on life support.
Mm.
Uh, was it a German Shepherd? Was it a Kita? The dog was rehomed.
I think it was an Akita. It wasn't a
Yeah, 'cause
German
that was a
Shepherd.
pretty dog. I
Oh
saw the picture.
no! Wait, was it? I know they had a German Shepherd, but I don't think the German Shepherd. It was a new dog that
Yeah, it
came.
was that new dog that Eric that she
Yeah,
put up and she was bragging about because someone posted it, and I'm like, oh my god, that's a beautiful dog, and that dog is expensive.
yeah, yeah. Oh man,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
just
I don't see how they're gonna find an impartial jury. Just because, I mean, there's so much publicity that
okay.
surrounds
John's
her.
ready. Okay, John, I just dropped the link for you. There you go. It could have been a husky, but I swore it was a Kita. And a Kita
Yeah,
and huskies are close together, right?
they are. Yeah, they are. Yeah,
Yeah, but either those dogs are expensive. John, I
yeah.
dropped the link. The link. Hi, Lori.
But yeah, I just, I don't know. I just don't see how they're gonna get an impartial jury. I just because I mean, that show is well known, especially during COVID times. That's how we all came into this shithole together. And it's like she don't have the best reputation for a 90-day cast member,
Yep,
you
that's
know?
true. Hi, John.
Hi.
Hey, John.
Okay, John, one question for you. I mean, because what, well, there was a couple, but one someone just wanted to ask. Has Eric reached out to you since you did your live?
No, no, and Eric hasn't reached out to anybody from since last night. Um, But about that, Eric gave that information handily over to somebody from the internet. Uh, so I have absolutely no problems in showing it. I think it's super important that we know every angle. And if it just doesn't make sense to me for Eric to tell a complete stranger on the
Thank
internet
you.
everything he just said. If like to me, he was like begging
To
to
be
for it
put
to be
out.
posted.
And the thing is, John, he admitted in those text messages that he was aware that Lita was committing fraud.
Yep.
Right. I believe that was in the context of moving into that apartment building that Lita was in, because that
Mm-hmm.
is, you could only make a certain amount of money
Mm-hmm.
uh, to qualify, so her having like all those assets, the trucking company, the Corvette, all of it would
Mm-hmm.
immediately disqualify her from living there.
Yep, because Wisco gal knows where she lives at, and it's a low income area. And and then we were thinking that maybe she was trying to take stuff out of Eric's name so he can lower his child support payments.
Well, like what about like none of that child support stuff doesn't make sense because we see how Lita treats her family.
Yep.
So Lita would never in a million years sell that vet to give that money to Eric's other kids that she can't stand. I mean, that doesn't make sense in my head
Nope.
at
And
all.
I agree with you on that. I think she was trying to get her hands on a lot of money because she was going to leave the country.
Hmm.
And I also
And I
think that
mean that.
That Eric is still covering for her.
So, okay, but why would he cover for her though?
I don't know. I mean, why has he stayed with her all these years? Why has
That's true.
he, even after the puppy?
That's
Mm.
true. And yes, Brenda said you had a great live last night. And I did go back this morning and I listened to it. And I understand that you were nervous because you hadn't been live in a while, but you did a really good job.
I
You really
appreciate
did.
that. Thank you. It was a lot, to see, to be on YouTube, A, and B, to have the myriad of people in my chat. But I'm happy everybody was there, and it was a good life. So
Mhm.
So, okay, here's what I want to ask you.
but it
So,
went worse.
yeah, but when your subscriber saw Lita in the hospital, she had no idea what was going on, correct?
Right. And I've spoken to now two people that have seen Lita in the hospital right when that was happening, and both of them who don't know each other. Like, it's crazy how people are coming to me who are like actually eyewitnesses to things. It's insane to have two
Mm.
different people in this small Wisconsin
Yep.
hospital manage to see her is beyond me. But yeah, like both of them gave me the same thing, that that Lita was in some side room talking to the police, that she was laughing, that the son was there, that she didn't look bereft at all, and there was absolutely not one sign of any type of like, slap across the face, of handprint, facial paralysis, as she was claiming, nothing. In fact, both of them said, two different people said she was like jovial, and like, you would never have thought that she was in there because her 5-week-old was in any type of danger.
That's what I'm saying, John. Her whole behavior, even when I heard that
Mhm.
recording, I was picking that apart. I'm like, when this woman said, "Oh, I'm over it," and I was like, "Wait a minute, what?" And the baby wasn't even deceased yet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Talking like it was.
I think, Heidi, that's really what the clincher was for everybody, honestly. I know that like I said, like I didn't want any part of this because obviously I knew I was going to cross paths with everybody on YouTube. So I was kind of avoiding that the most. But, hearing that clip and, then reading the text with it and seeing that conversation as a whole,
Exactly.
there's no way. And we're all smart people. I mean, I like to think that we are.
Exactly.
Come on.
I'm serious because when I'm reading this, and then, I'm not going to say, the person's name, but I'm sitting there going, no. And then the jovialness, and, she's worrying about getting a car towed for $100. Are you kidding me? Your daughter is fighting for her life.
Yep.
Yeah. And like, there's another giant piece of this that I have to sit on.
Oh,
But
John, you got to
I
let
know,
us
and
know as soon as
I
possible.
have to. I mean, there, she.
As soon as possible. As soon as you're able to put it out, you're going to have
But
to.
that baby was fine. Like the police examined the baby. The baby was fine. Uh, and it was like that 12-hour window of, you know, there's so much more that I found out about. But
I think
Lita,
she lost her temper. I really do.
I do too.
I think she
Yep.
wanted to get angry. I don't know. I've thought about this a million different ways. Ask Cody, like my brain's about to explode. I'm not a true crime person. I know, Heidi, you cover this stuff, and God bless you for doing it, because like I'm the lighter side of the news, and to try to piece this together is all I can think about. And she totally did it. I mean, you can't convince me otherwise. And I don't know why Eric might be covering for her still. I if at least he shows anger, but then again he's talking to a stranger, giving all this information up willy nilly, because I really think he wants her to go down without saying it. And we all know that
Yeah.
Eric knows that I'm like kind of took the lead on this a little bit, and I've been posting about this like crazy. So Eric's not stupid. He knows that I'm talking about this, and for him to say that
He's
to that stranger is
watching it.
almost like he knows that it was going to
Yep.
get to me. I don't know.
But when if you go to Adams County Sheriff's on Facebook, you should see how many bloggers are giving them information against Lita. Brooke, I dropped the link if you want to come up. You should see how many bloggers are giving the police information and where to go look at about Lita. It's
I mean,
sad.
as long as they're not interfering, like, I don't want to. I want everybody to talk about this because it's super important. I just don't want anybody, getting like police happy. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that's
I haven't
because
made one call. I just been checking to see if they've been putting any updates on their Facebook page. I just want to know when she's going to be arrested. I want to know what our charges are going to be and what's taking so long, because the autopsy should be done. I know the toxicology takes a while, but that autopsy is complete.
it's definitely a homicide investigation per Eric.
Yep, it is. And that's what the police paperwork says. It's a criminal investigation.
Heidi,
And
I
only
gotta
one,
drop real quick, okay?
Okay, hold on.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Brooke up. Brooke is here.
Okay.
Brooke is
All
here.
right. I'm
Okay.
dropping. Bye, y'all.
Okay. Bye. Hi, Brooke.
Hey, how are you?
Brooke. Okay, so when John was talking last night, I was actually reading the chat this morning. You said that the baby had to be intubated at the home.
So what I was asking, what I really wish I would have gotten clarification on, is that was the baby intubated on the scene? Was CPR started on the scene? Or did this all transpire at the hospital? It really does give you a huge, it's a big detail, because finding an infant unresponsive at the home, administer CPR there at the scene versus it going down at the hospital, that could be two different basically train of events. So I was just wondering what had happened, and I wish that could have been answered. John, do you happen to know how that
Well,
went
let me
down or
just.
no?
I can see the chat, and like I see like a lot of questions about Indonesia and like if I believed or not. At first, I didn't, because I've been looking at this timeline like with a fine tooth comb and adding stuff like like literally a second of the day I'll add to it. So I'm like, when on earth could she have fit in? Like, it's like flying to like, Indonesia is not like flying to like, Orlando. It's not like a 3-hour flight. It's a commitment.
Yep.
Uh,
It's almost 24 hours from Wisconsin to Indonesia.
yeah, there's no like direct flights from like,
Nope.
Milwaukee to Jakarta either. So, uh,
Direct.
but I don't know why Eric would lie about that.
I
And
don't either. But and I think you pointed this out to me, John, when we were talking the time that we did talk, the first and only the first time that we talked on the phone, which was a couple days ago, that I don't know that you mentioned this last night, that she did not get her baby a passport, just her son.
That's what I was
No,
saying.
well,
She was
according
being
to
used,
I
that's
had
right.
thought that. I'm like, why didn't she get like the baby a passport and just to sign it? Because I had thought that. But according to Eric, she had also went to the consulate to get Alyssa's, I guess, Indonesian citizenship or whatever to get that ball rolling because obviously
Alyssa then went with her to Chicago then, or no?
I do not know. All I know is that Aless was there. I'm not sure if she took Alyssa.
Okay, John, here's the thing. The prosecutors went to court on July 11th. They said because of a criminal investigation, they were thinking she was a flight risk and they wanted her to surrender her passport. This was on July 11th. So when did she go to Indonesia?
When did she get arrested again for the
July
bill?
17th.
17th. Oh, Star, I see. That injury then happened right before she called 911. I'm sorry to
What did
interrupt.
Star say, Brooke?
Because she had an anoxic brain injury. And like I was trying to say in the chat last night, and that's why I want to know, were there bruises? Because she had either a subdural hematoma or some other kind of form of a brain bleed from either being shaken or trauma or blunt force trauma. So were there exterior bruising or was there exterior bruising? But the fact that they resuscitated her on scene with an anoxic brain injury and a spinal fracture, and also it could have been from a CSF leak, which could have caused increased intracranial pressure. So until the autopsy is completely done, whether it was a bleed or whether it was a CSF leak, is I guess yet to be determined. But either way, that baby was shaken or there was blunt force trauma.
Yep. And for her trying to blame this on Eric when he was already locked up, to me says a lot.
And also, let me add that the reason the baby was found unresponsive is because, neurologically, I don't know, I'm sure all of you know that our brain is what makes our heart beat and our, lungs breathe. The fact that they were able to get her back quickly tells me, and from what I'm gathering, tells me that injury was sustained not very long before 911 was called.
But don't you think it's strange when she said, and I heard John say this, and I said this myself, she had to add, I didn't drop the baby. Who said you dropped the baby?
Guilty people say shit like that on accident all the time. Nobody said you did, unless the message from Maria prior. I'm sorry to mention that name. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
But and like no sane person, like like whoever, like she was speaking to, whoever that was, okay, so Heidi, say you were saying this to me, right? Like say it's you and me, and Heidi, you were like, oh my God, this just happened to my baby, like, and you were telling me this just happened. Like I wouldn't think in a million years that you were the cause of it. So like for her to say, oh, but I didn't do it. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Yep, and then she said, it's never going to be my fault. You remember she said that in a recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's never my fault.
Exactly. Play it, Heidi.
Huh?
Play it.
Oh,
I mean, it's
Hold
wild.
on, let me
put on a channel on loop, actually.
Yeah, hold on, I have it. Because for her to say that to me was like, why would you say this? It doesn't make any sense to me. So I was like, yeah, you did this. You did it.
I truly believe that when people do things, they don't take account for how their brain and their responses are going to be after the fact. And this is her crashing out without realizing she was crashing out, talking to Maria. I'm sorry. Person X. Whatever.
Okay.
She was trying to get this story out before it got out.
All right. This is just crazy. But here's a picture of them, because everybody's saying that they had no idea she was pregnant. So here's the picture that I was talking about with her and Eric. There's the dog and her son.
Can you make that bigger, Heidi? I've never seen that.
Okay, hold on. Let me make this bigger. Oh shit. Y'all know I'm no good with this kind of shit, okay? I
Me neither.
can't make it bigger.
It's
Either.
all right.
Well, I can't make it bigger. It's on hold on. I'm trying to make it bigger. It's not staying. Hold on, let me take a screenshot. Hold on. I know how to do
It's
it.
coming up in your bubble, Heidi.
I
We need to
know. I'm
see it
gonna
on the
make it bigger.
screen.
I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna make it bigger. I'm gonna make it bigger. Okay, so
Cooch.
here we
Sorry,
go.
it was
Oh,
funny.
bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you. So
No, I
this
didn't
is before
sneeze.
the
I was
baby
laughing at
died.
Cooch. Sorry.
Sophie, I doubt that he even ever slapped her face. Like, I don't know. I don't
No,
believe
she said
any of
my
it.
eyes were
All right,
closed. My eyes were closed.
But
Yeah, when you get
whatever.
hit, your eyes are closed.
there
Dummy.
they go.
When you sneeze, your eyes are closed too.
Huh.
Well, when your eyes are closed, at least like when your eyes are open, you know what's
So there
coming
you
at your
go. That's
face.
them.
If it's an
And
open fist, a slap, or whatever, you still know what's coming at your
okay,
face.
For Cody.
yep. Okay. So here's the recording. Here we go.
I'm just tired. I mean, I've been crying nights, days, I mean, I accept it, like completely like accept it because I knew that I lost her. But as soon as the doctor says like there were a fracture on her back, and that's why I suspect, all of us suspect that that's kind of like related to what Eric did to me. Because when he hits me, even right now, like I still unable to.
Oh shit. Hold on. I got to keep my finger on it.
To the comment on
I'm
the screen, no, you would have rib fractures as well if it was CPR. It
fine,
would be ribs.
I mean, I accept it, like completely like accept it because I knew that I lost her. But as soon as the doctor says like there were a fracture on her back, and that's why I suspect, all of us suspect that that's kind of like related to what Eric did to me.
So you see how she's blaming Eric?
Wait, Heidi, before we
Yes.
continue, Geneva said she did not surrender her passport until 7/18. It was a condition of, because when you said 7/11, like you confused me a little bit because I'm like,
Yeah, that's when he went to court to get.
And let me real quick
That's when he
interject
went
on
before the
that.
judge.
I believe the changing of her bail conditions for the first bail jump happened because if she did go to Indonesia, when she came back, it triggered that, which is why she was arrested the next day.
no, she got
And
caught because of whoever called in that welfare check. Whoever called that welfare check in gave Lita's, address being the house that, the marital
She
home,
doesn't live there.
and
how can
Lita had rented
going?
it out.
But how
So
you were telling me it didn't
because Lita
trigger
rented
it?
it out and didn't update the court's records, because she's out on bond, that's how the police found out about her, about all of that, and that's how they got her.
It's a
So the
violation right
passport
there.
did not trigger anything, is what you're saying. The going in and out of the country did not trigger
No, it didn't.
a
So
felony bail jumper.
no, yeah, no. Her going to Chicago to the Indonesian consulate didn't trigger anything, and also her going to Indonesia didn't
It was
trigger
the
anything.
warehouse
It
guy.
was
Thank
That's
you.
whoever called in that
crazy.
welfare
Whoever
check.
did.
That is
That's
wild as fuck.
that's crazy. And who called in that welfare check? Do we
I
know?
have
Who did?
absolutely no idea.
Wow. See,
Okay, let's finish.
that's another important detail. Go ahead,
Yep.
Heidi. I'm sorry.
No. Here we go.
Fracture on her back, and that's why I suspect, all of us suspect that that's
It's
kind of like
low.
what Eric did to me. Because when he hits me, even right now, like I still unable to feel my face, and
She's
then
lying.
exactly like
My.
there's a nerve damage that the doctor said to me when I got myself checked, and that's that. So imagine if it's because I
So
didn't.
when did she get herself checked? If she
And
refused
also, she's
EMS?
laughing while she's telling this
Yes.
bullshit story.
Yeah. Yes.
When did
She
she
doesn't
get
even
herself
she
checked?
doesn't even believe the shit she's selling on this story right now. That's why she's laughing.
All she had to do is tell that ER doc, listen, my face is numb. It's numb, numb, numb. They're not about to run a CT or an MRI on her from a slap in the face. When you work in the ER, you have to come up with a diagnosis or like a discharge plan to give a patient. And I guarantee you that nurse was like, facial numbness, here we go. And so that's what they gave her.
She had
I'm
a
telling
watery
you.
eye. She had a watery eye. That's it.
Complaint was numbness and tingling. Therefore, she's got facial, like paralysis. Like you have to pick. You only get in some hospitals, and especially where they were, where it sounds like you probably only get a very slim picking of choices, and that's what the nurse chose. Kind of like with Amber Scrotum. Like, do you see what I'm saying? The nurse chose a male discharge information to give Amber, which is why she says she raised her scrotum. I mean, not to
Girl, that
change the
was
subject.
funny.
I'm just trying to say that's what happens is you have a choice, and that's what they chose, and that's what she ran with.
Okay.
I mean,
okay, let's finish.
I didn't see if he hit Alyssa or not, but imagine if he did. It's really like it's kind of like related, but I'm not accusing. I'm just saying
You're
what
accusing.
happened, and that's that.
She's accusing.
I know, but before we find out if he is the cause, I will file a restraining order against him because guess what? I want to get myself protected.
Okay,
Oh
she
my
want to get
God.
herself protected. She's a liar. She's a liar. She dropped that restraining order.
Because you know why? Because she was telling person X that she gave person X the phone number of Eric and said, please call him. He won't respond to me. And I said, oh my God, he blocked her. And person X said, nope, he's just getting the messages and he's not responding. So she wanted person X to call Eric for her.
This whole story is a lie, but when she's laughing and your baby is fighting, and that's what I found out when I heard that. And then I said, wait a minute, the baby is still in the damn hospital and you're finding this funny. And I just didn't understand this. I don't get it. And nobody thought to say, hey, this woman is fucked up and crazy. She did something to this child, because that's the first thing I thought of.
Me too.
And for Eric, and John is thinking that Eric is trying to cover for her. Why, Eric? Why are you covering for Lita? What does Lita have on you that you feel the need to cover for this? Because your daughter is no longer here at 5 weeks old because of this woman. Brooke, do you think she did it intentionally?
I think, here's what I think. For a baby to suffer a spinal fracture with an anoxic brain injury, I don't think this was the first time, honestly. I think that this might have happened, and just like it did with the dog, you get frustrated. That baby blows a diaper up to, up the onesie. I mean, I hate to think this way, but I don't believe that a first time shake or a first time trauma would occur to this extent.
And that's what I was thinking. Okay, let's finish listening to this. Hold on, let me get it.
We find out if he is the cause, I will file a restraining order against him because guess what? I want to get myself protected. I want to get my son and I protected. This is a contingency. This is serious. This is, even my dad says, like, I don't want you to get killed, Lita. Go fucking home now. And I was like, I can't, Dad. I still have court to do. I still have a lot of things to do. So that's that. That's where we are right now, Maria. I mean, I know that she's also 5. But at that time, before I spoke to my
she
dad,
had a chuckle. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
She chuckled.
Wait in a minute. She's going to be like, what does she say? She says, I am fine. Or you'll see it. You'll wait. Keep playing it.
Not accepting it, but after I talked to my dad and I no longer resent to my dad and we basically reconcile, I feel good, and then I accept it. But now
she feel good.
I feel good. Do you feel good, Heidi?
Girl, I feel good. Come on now, John. How many times did you listen to this?
Newborn.
Too many. I mean, I could recite it. I just don't know.
She feels good, but I love when she says, "I'm over it." Wait a minute. Look.
I'm done grieving.
My focus is not just because I want to know. I never dropped the baby, and the baby was so fine. I
never dropped the baby.
You're lying. Stop. Rewind. Sorry, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. Can you rewind?
Oh, because she probably didn't drop the baby. She probably did something else to it.
No,
exactly. I didn't drop the baby. I just shook it to have a subdural hematoma, a fractured spine, maybe. I don't know. I'm speculating, but here I say this. You did not see those baby's legs moving right before you found her unresponsive. There's
See,
no
that didn't
fucking
make
way.
any
And
sense.
if you did, you saw her moving, you picked her up and you harmed her. And then she was unresponsive. So there you go.
See, that's what I was thinking, because when she said that, she said the baby legs was moving, but when she said I didn't drop the baby, I'm like, why the hell would we even say that?
Yeah, they were moving before you, whatever you did to her, and then she went unresponsive. Then you lost your shit, in my opinion, and called 911.
Damn.
You know, unresponsive, and I had to call 911 and everything like that. Once they mentioned about the fractures on the back, that's the reason why we suspect something happened when Eric hit me in the face. Because
Girl,
if
stop.
it make my left face,
Can you rewind that? I don't know if it's this part, but she says everyone suspects it, meaning, in my opinion, I thought she meant her medical team.
Yeah,
But they
that's
were
what I
saying.
thought you meant too.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, that's
it's
okay.
my facial nerve. What do you think is gonna happen to damage my baby? Of course, something's gonna happen too. If it happened, if he did hit that accidentally or something like that.
Girl, stop.
I didn't know.
She said hit that. She said hit that.
She said hit that, never mentions the baby's name. But in the police report, she said that it was an open hand slap. That's what she said. But then she lied.
That.
She told the other person that the neighbor, well, not the other person, she put it in a post on IG that the neighbor called the police. But then when you get the police report, she called the police, not the neighbor. She did.
Because my eyes was closed. So
her eyes were closed.
Request immediate autopsy.
Immediate.
Because it will help the police anyway. I want to know.
Wow, what a mother. What a great person.
Stop.
I'm
Can you
so
stop?
happy she requested
I did. I
immediately.
stopped it.
The hospital and CPS would have requested that autopsy, not Lita.
That's what I said, Brooke. I said, girl.
They make a Mother's Day card for Hallmark?
No, I said when I first heard this, I said, you wouldn't request it. That's an automatic.
She would have been like, no, it's too traumatic for me right now, and I don't want to. The hospital required, and probably the cops at that point were the ones that required the autopsy, not Lita.
Not Lita. No.
Myself forever. No, this is not my fault. Never be my fault. So.
Never be her fault. You heard that, right? It would never be her fault.
Who says that?
Lita always wins.
Who's grieving her child, that's over it, John. That's who says it. Lita, Margarita. God.
Dude, I can't even.
Yeah, Maria. I mean, we can go live. I mean, I can jump on your YouTube. Tomorrow, I don't know if it's 10:30 your time, is 9:30 my time. It's gonna be if I even available, because at 8 Central Time, my time, which is 9 your time, your
she's so concerned about this child.
You know what? I just figured it out.
Okay.
It was the switchback.
We're in Beverly Hills. I get you. Okay.
I don't get it.
We were talking about Erica Jane was talking about her husband Tom, how he had an accident and he had
that must have been it. It was the switchback. That has to have been it. I'm sure that it was it. Man.
I don't get a Real Housewives joke. I get it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I actually drew it and I had a piece of paper and I was showing it. Hold on.
I have to fire a restraining order first. That's my plan at 8. At 8:30, I will have.
It's low.
My psychiatrist.
Nothing about going to the hospital to see this baby. Nothing about going. Girl, stop.
You know, like for half an hour. So that's that. I'm kind of like occupied, but we will try to find way our time tomorrow, because the hospital provide me hotel until I check out on basically Wednesday.
One more time, please.
I want to.
Yes.
They offered her that because evidently the baby was under probably the ethics committee, which was arranging the baby to be taken off life support. But we call it in Texas. Oh gosh, I haven't worked in ICU in so long. It's just when you, like I said, the ethics committee comes in, they deem somebody brain dead, which is I think why it took so long for the baby. I think she was brain dead on arrival for sure.
Me too.
In my opinion. And it's a process, especially it's a process for an old person. much less a newborn, to be taken off life support in my state. So that's once the brain dead declaration was accomplished, which in my opinion was probably Sunday the 9th. Then they had to go through consulting the ethics committee and then going through the whole entire removal of the ventilator to let Elisa pass away. So
Yeah, because they had to do that final test on her to make sure that there was
right.
no brain activity. Yeah.
I believe that was done initially in the first 48 hours of admission. And then after that, which is why Eric was wanting to come see the baby. And that's the only reason it makes sense that the police were asking Lita to break their own restraining order, was in this instance that his child was about to be pronounced dead. And that's why it was done days prior and then days following is when it happened. And it also could have been that they took the baby off the vent and that she survived that long. But Eric, no, I take that back. Eric said 5 days on the vent. So it does, I guess that does mean she passed away immediately.
Done at my county, it's like an hour and a half drive. Jesus Christ!
She's complaining about a drive
before I come back here because it's a lot. It's a lot of driving, you know.
Well,
So
she just got that terrible root job done. Can you blame her?
I'm sorry. No,
And like
I'm
Scott
right.
Peterson, I mean, can you imagine getting arrested for bail jumping and looking like Scott Peterson? Leave it to Lita.
Yeah, I saw Geneva's message. She says she didn't surrender her passport until July 18th. I'm just trying to say
that gave her the window to go to Indonesia. Like I said, like, I'm going with what Eric said.
But John,
Because
it doesn't make sense to me because Indonesia does not have extradition laws with the United States.
So why would she come back?
Why would she come back?
Premeditation.
I thought about this.
Premeditation.
Here's why. Because Lita's gotten away with everything she's ever committed, up until like these 6 felonies that she just, got innocent on. She got, let's not forget the drag racing overseas. She's gotten away with everything. Remember what Eric said? Lita always wins, all that shit.
Yep.
So I'm telling you, Lita was so confident that she can come back and beat this that's why she came back, because Lita didn't want to live like, always turning around. I'm
And look
you.
at her going on person X's post, laughing at a funny joke that was in fact funny, hilarious, and then claiming insanity, as per John and his co-host last night, on these court paperwork filings for this animal abuse, pleading insanity, and then going and checking yourself in so that you can go to court via Zoom in the hospital. Dramatic.
And let me tell you something about the insanity case, which Geneva, who's been so amazing with this, just texted me. Did you know that she pleaded guilty by insanity 2 days before she had the baby? And the court, I guess no one was paying attention, but they let her have that baby to begin with, knowing that 2 days
CPS
ago
should have taken the baby.
I mean, like, someone should have been looking.
You would think.
This is just sad. This is awful. And I'm just gonna say, John,
days. Wow.
Trust me.
It was 2 days before.
That's fucking
she
wild.
Pleaded insanity to the puppy thing. She's saying, "Yep, I did it. I'm crazy." And then 2 days later, she has a baby. And
can I ask you a question? How are we going to plead insanity when we're liquidating assets and putting things on Facebook Marketplace to sell and all that shit?
Why were they watching her?
I also, Eric was saying, the trucking company, this, that, and the other. We were losing money. Is that why? Why? Because, you couldn't rob the companies you were, using as a front anymore? Why were you losing money? Because Lita was selling everything. And why I think he's covering her in some way, because, it looks really bad that she's trying to liquidate, big rigs, Corvettes, rice cookers.
Well, where was she getting this
rice cookers? How much do you think somebody's going to pay for a rice cooker, Heidi? Probably $1.
A rice cooker is $20 if you get a nice one. Okay, $25. Come on.
Listen, she sold the goddamn rice cooker. Somebody bought it.
That's desperate, man. I'm going to sell you.
I mean, when you were selling your rice cooker, game's afoot, bro. It's if you see me selling my toilet paper roll, say a prayer for me, because the shit's hit the fan. So when you're selling your microwave, your rice cooker,
Sorry.
I mean, it's the truth.
I'm sorry, but John, what
Like,
True.
did
It's true.
if you see me selling like the plate that spins in your microwave, like for like $15, like it's like she's selling like anything she could sell.
Yep.
A rice cooker.
But, I'm sorry, I'm
Underwear,
about to
like, who
choke.
knows?
A rice cooker. What type of rice cooker did she
It
have?
better be a ninja one, like one of them good ones. Like it
Okay,
better
so
be a
that's
it better be a
$89.
I
four
have
cup.
it
It
post.
better
If
be
you want to pull it up on my IG, Heidi, I have it. I have
Heidi,
the whole
it's
list
up
of it on.
it
there.
I
it,
have a
it better be a
scroll of everything she listed.
Please post that on your YouTube page.
It's on my
It's up
IG.
there already.
Oh
yeah,
my
and everybody that's
God.
listening, if you don't know, John unblocked almost everybody, so that they can go. I did not know, but he did. So y'all can go to his IG if you thought you were blocked by him. He's unblocked. I think everybody, right, John?
I think I did. Like, I don't know if there are any newbies or like, and if there are, I don't want to. But I think unblocked everybody, and yeah, you know,
This is crazy. So, rice cooker. Okay.
It better be a 4 cup.
she
Period.
sold a microwave. Like, wait, hold on. I'll look for my
Hold
phone.
on.
I'll give you.
I'm trying to go and find you, John. Oh, okay. Here we go. John Yates official, right?
No, the other one, 327 TV. Hold on.
Oh, damn.
Let me see if I have blocked you, Heidi. Wait, hold on. Hold on. I might not have. Heidi Black.
It told me she was selling a rice cooker. I probably would have bought it. But
Yeah.
maybe,
You
yeah.
never had me blocked. I blocked you. I just
Oh, okay. Because I can't see you.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
Okay, so let me see. How would I find it? Okay, because I see you have. How far down am I looking?
Um. Um. Okay. You see, like the scene where like Lita's got like her lips puckered. You see that post
They're always
with the red
Yeah.
shirt? It's the one to the left of it.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. She got. I see she changed her Facebook page. Oh God, she's. Oh, that woman scares me. Okay.
Okay.
That's not. That's an industrial. No. So the house is. Oh, she sold the house. John, she
No,
sold.
she didn't sell it. She's renting it out. That's why she got in trouble because she rented out the house that Eric was staying in. Eric was like staying in the house, that fixer upper that they were living in. We'll call it that in Arkdale. And Lita had gotten that apartment in like I don't want to say low income because it's like
It
It's low
is.
income.
it's
Somebody lives
because
there, and they said it's low income.
it's a beautiful complex for people that can't afford nicer
Well, they have
complexes,
that.
so
They
they
have
give a
those
cap.
here. They have those
Yeah,
here. They're like luxury apartment complexes,
yeah,
but they
yeah. For
are low
people who can't
income.
afford to live in
Yeah.
a nice place,
Hmm.
those are for those people who are like good people. But you see, you hear low income, you think like, oh, it's bad news. But no, it was a nice place.
I just feel I I can't even feel bad for Eric. You know what I mean? Because he's allowed her. And why would you leave this woman alone with a baby when she attacks an animal?
Well, to be fair, he was arrested. However,
No, no, no. I'm talking about
uh,
even when he was on the road when he's working. She's
yeah,
home with that child. How do you know how do we know she wasn't doing something to that child then when Eric says that he's always had
yeah.
to talk her down on a daily basis?
That's why I think that this couldn't have been the first time. I wouldn't be. I can't. Even though Lita's disgusting and gross as fuck, I could not put her on doing it that horrifically and violently to cause such a bad injury to where a baby never comes off of the ventilator or life support without it had been done before, because there's and maybe I'm wrong, maybe she is a fucking sociopath and psychopath, which I do believe, but it's hard for me to even wrap my head around that this would have been the first time and she did it this horrifically.
I think she lost control. I think her anger got to her and I'm serious. I think she threw the baby.
Well, like I said before, that will be told in the autopsy if there's any external. There will be outside trauma if it was blunt force trauma. There will be no outside trauma if it's shaken baby.
Oh, I
It'll
want to
be
get my
all
hands on that
internal,
autopsy
all
report.
internal brain hemorrhage, internal ICP increase, which whatever it was, whether it's a CSF leak or a hematoma that caused the brain air quote swelling, because that could be blanketed about a bunch of different things that happened. But whether it was the fracture that caused the swelling or the shaking that caused the swelling, the bleeding and the fracture, that's the question.
Yeah, I want to get my hands on that autopsy report, and I know
I
that
don't know if
sounds
that's going to be available
no, it's
anytime
It
not because it's
soon.
a
won't. It's a
criminal
minor,
investigation.
and it's a minor.
Yeah,
So,
And it's
uh,
and like there's like a legit big investigation going on. Like this
Brenna,
isn't like
and 5-week-olds are fragile, but here's the deal: musculoskeletal systems of those infants are so pliable, and I'm telling you, like, and that they are. Say a toddler went, or maybe a 2-year-old went through this versus a 5-week-old. It's just like drunk drivers when they get in an accident when they're loose. It has everything to do with your, I guess, the way your skeletal system is, and that 5-week-old could have withstood a lot before its back got broken. I mean, you just have babies. They swim around, they bend, their legs bend up to their freaking faces, they eat their toes. I mean, think about this.
yeah, and a 5-week old baby, if I can remember, they don't move that much, do they, Brooke?
They don't roll.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not crazy. It's been a while.
I think
It's
five
been
week
a
old by
while.
that time. It's been a while for me too, girl. It's tummy time. It's tummy time. They're kind of lifting up their heads and their necks, and their cervical spine is getting stronger. But at that time, I mean, like I said, they've been balled up in a little bitty, roll for 10 months. So they're other than their cervical spine, which is why they do the tummy time, just to strengthen that part of their back. The rest of it is pretty maneuverable. Not that you should be maneuvering a baby's spine. I'm just
Wait a
saying
minute.
it's not like this baby was in a car wreck. Okay, that's all I can say. And
Okay,
that's the injury to me that occurred: a
okay.
spinal fracture.
Mm-hmm. Is Julie saying Glenn Crack is using her picture? Is that what she's saying? Because she's giving him the finger. I'm asking because I don't. I'm trying to see. That picture is small, so I really. So is that what she's saying, Brooke? Do you see that?
Where I'm sorry.
Yes, he is. Okay, I just went. Glenn Crack, could you please come back
Yeah,
without
don't do
Julie's
that.
picture? Please don't do that.
Again, we're trying to be a united front for this baby and this baby only. So
Please, please, please change your
speaking
picture.
of Julie, she also had a good point. I was speaking to her earlier, and like Julie said to me, "What if Lita dropped the baby off in Indonesia because the baby? Not. I'm sorry. What if Lita dropped the son off in Indonesia because Aless saw something?"
That's what we just said earlier.
yep,
Because even if he's nonverbal, someone said in the chat that they can still
drawing
draw,
pictures. Oh
yeah,
yeah,
stuff they've seen.
And I can
that's
confirm that he is autistic, and he does have problems communicating. So uh,
devil's advocate. She
There
could
are
also not
ways
want
that
him to
they
get
can.
he can communicate
hemmed up
with
in CPS too. She
Lita,
might not have wanted the
yeah.
headache of that. And
But
also having a child in CPS would have made her look more bad to it, worse to a jury if she had one child in CPS. I think she didn't want it. It could have been that, or she didn't want him to get taken, which John is why she told person X, he's fine. No, don't worry. Because he was in Indonesia. So
Is there any way to verify that baby is actually in Indonesia, John? Is there any way that someone can verify that little boy
no,
is there?
there's not. I mean, I'm going to
It's
go by what
speculation.
Eric says because technically he's the stepfather, and up until a few days ago, Eric was raising him. So I'm gonna go with what Eric says.
Well,
And
okay,
again,
He said it.
but like, also when Lita said like what Brooke had just said, when Lita said like oh and I think I posted it somewhere on Instagram. It's buried because I know I have like a lot of Lita posts, obviously, but she was like, oh, he's in custody, like, he's in good hands, don't worry. And I'm like, how could anybody, foster care is rough, and like, no matter what hands your baby's in, it's the
You don't
state.
have your child. Like
So it's
That's not
that
okay.
struck me as she brought, and I know how much she loves her son. Like,
yeah, that's not okay.
That's why I would never think that Lita would ever harm her son or do anything bad, because a lot of people are concerned, like, she needs to get the son, the state needs to get the son out because, what she just did. And I agree, absolutely. But I don't ever believe for 1 second that Lita would ever do anything heinous towards her son.
Yeah.
I don't.
Daughter, yes.
I do not.
But she would do
loves that
something
boy.
heinous towards the daughter? Why?
Yeah, because it's Eric's, and it's a girl.
That's true. So,
and I think that she really wanted it. Ugh, never mind. I'm not going to say that.
see,
I have to disagree. I think that Lita has shown her true colors with that dog, like you said the other night, John, in your live. Like, whenever you show me what you're going to do to a dog, you'll do to a human. And I think that this is a long time coming. That she has been, and I'm not saying that she.
Oh, I agree fully. Absolutely, I said that back when the dog thing. I put it in my story.
What I will say
baby.
is that a mute child might not just be an autistic child. It might be a child that's seen trauma and seen way too fucking much. So we don't know if Alessa's aphasia has come from trauma that he's seen or something he was born with.
Well, I don't know anything about that, Brooke. I'm just saying, like, I think Julie raised a good point in thinking, like, maybe she dropped the kid off in Indonesia because the kid saw something. Yep. I don't know.
John,
that's true. I believe that too.
Let me ask you a question. You and Lita were friends for a while.
Oh my God, please.
No, I'm just asking. I'm going to ask you this question about Elise. Did you ever realize her son was nonverbal?
I didn't know that until today.
See, that's what somebody was saying on TikTok. I could have swore when they used to do those YouTube lives, and when she would be on live with Yahoo Boy on IG, I would hear that little boy. And he would be talking. I asked Amber the same thing. So I don't know.
I was told today that he communicates via sign language and pointing.
Yeah, Julie told me that ever since she was friends with Lita back in the day. Sorry if I'm not supposed to say this, Julie, but I'm sure she didn't care. That Lita had always told her he was nonverbal.
Okay, because I read Eric said he was severely autistic. I was like, wait a minute. Okay.
No, Eric was correct in that. He is. Like, and I never wanted, I speculated over the years, like, because we didn't see much of him. And for a period of like 2 or 3 years, remember, like, whenever Lita took a picture, like, where's the son? You know, but you'd always talk about the son like he was there, but like no one ever saw him. And that was for like a while.
Yeah.
And we all thought that, but she never came out and said anything about her son. So that was like the going rumor. But yeah, I didn't know it until today, and not until 4 hours ago, to be honest.
Look at Rita says he can talk. It's on her Facebook.
Well, and maybe he has a moment. I don't know, but like primarily, he uses sign language and pointing, and I don't know. And he's 12. He's 12 years old. I found that I found that today. But
it's possible he went through speech pathology. I'm sorry to keep interrupting you. I'm getting a fucking lag. Pathology that made him be able to speak. So 2 things can be true at the same time. Sorry.
Yeah, no, like I'm giving it to you guys as I get it. Like, I had said when she got arrested that, well, we've been speculating this whole time, obviously, because nothing has really come out as fact yet. But like when she got arrested, we had thought that it was because she went to the consulate. No, it was because she got the welfare check, and so I'm giving it to you as I get it. And I don't know.
Okay. Well, John, if you start getting more information, I'm sure you're going to be putting it out. But then Eric might, just like you said, he's putting this out. He knows it's going to get around. And what's the purpose of him doing that? And on the other hand, it sounds like he's trying to protect her. But I don't know. Something strange is going on here.
All of it's strange. It's a horrible, strange thing. Like, it's like
really strange.
The Da Vinci Code,
and
it's happening.
It's
happening in real time, which, like, I'm sorry, it's happening in real time, which makes it even like more complicated because, like, every day you find out something else. Lita's telling person X that the baby is in DCF. Meanwhile, Eric's saying, "Oh no DCF, never been in state's custody. Lita took care of that, dropped him off in Indonesia." So
somehow or another, I just don't believe that child is in Indonesia, though. I get it. I
and
understand.
listen to me, Heidi. If he's
Uh-huh.
not, then we'll definitely know that Eric is still covering for Lita. So if he's
Yep.
here, it'll be a blessing in disguise, honestly, because then we'll
Yep.
we'll know without a shadow of a doubt that Eric is still covering for Lita.
Yep, I'm
And
telling
let
you.
me clarify, when person X told me that, she said, and I think I made it clear on E11's live, that she said he's either with DCF or with family, and that's what person X told me that Lita told her. So it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. But then person X was like, but there's no family here. Like, there's no family here. Yeah, but they're in Indonesia. So if person X told that, and I think I said that in the 11th slide, but that's exactly what she told me.
Yeah, and the whole thing is, Brooke, if you think about it, she also lied and said she didn't call the cops. She also said the neighbors called the cops. You can't believe nothing Lita says. And right now, I'm doubting some stuff. Or maybe Lita is feeding this to someone so they can give it to Eric. I don't think that little boy is in Indonesia. It's just not ringing true to me.
But what other family does she have here? And
I don't think she has any family.
then it would have to be with Eric. He would have to be with Eric.
No, I'm normally, Brooke, just think about it. So she did these videos on July 5th, right? With the little boy in the back seat. Did she do any videos after that? And did we see this child?
No.
As a nurse, if
She's
there's a
blocked
death
me.
of a child in a home, and if you suspect abuse, wouldn't that little boy be removed?
Yes. However, CPS is horrifically flawed.
Okay.
Okay. There's also that. You got to remember, it really is. Like, you can't really expect CPS to be on it like, the CIA or the FBI. There's things that happen, but I think that the abuse, the CPS involvement happened at the hospital. So, would they immediately? I mean, they have to look at everything, and I truly believe that's why the cause of death, because there should be at least a preliminary cause of death.
Yep.
That's been out, and it's not out because this investigation is not completed.
Yep.
And so
exactly,
and
it'll be a cause, not a manner, but a cause. They should know,
right.
And they still have to do their investigation. Yep. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is, to me, it just gives me chills to think that you can do this to a child. I don't care how, and we see it happen. I mean, we hear about it, not see it, but to know someone or to be this close to this type of situation is really scary and fucked up, and it's just psycho.
Let me just be clear. I'm happy that person X actually knew something was wrong and reached out to somebody about it.
Me too.
So I am not I just want that to be known. I like person X, I'm not trying to dog in any way. And if I had to say anything about it, I am happy that person X knew that something was off and reached out to others about it. I'll say that. Because
yeah, my first reach would have been to the police, period.
However it is,
yeah. But I can let me play devil's advocate too. I can understand.
I really don't want to really talk about this much.
Yep.
I would want to put it with. I would want to ask people too. What the fuck do you think this is? Like, that would be my initial. And I'm not trying to take up for person X either. God knows.
Yeah, I understand.
However, I might be like, hey. But I don't know how this all went down. I still haven't gotten a straight story. So when I do, then I'll let everybody know.
Yeah, I'm happy that someone thought something was off, and I'm happy that Geneva was called in.
I am
called
too.
it in. What's important here is that this got out, and however
I did give
we all
Geneva
are.
her props. Yep, I did give her.
I gave her flowers too, and I didn't want to, but I did.
Be nice. You just said that we're trying to do better for we're trying to come together.
I can say I didn't want to do something, but I did it because it was the right thing to do, Heidi.
Okay. All right. Well, John, I really want to thank you for putting it out. I will be checking and watching, and whenever you have anything, I'll be checking. If you don't mind, I'll share it on my
Yeah, no,
YouTube
anyone is
tab.
welcome to share or whatever. And like I said, like, if you want to be in my chat and like if I didn't unblock you, I'd be happy to do it. As long as we're all on the same page and this is all about trying to get justice for this poor baby and nothing else.
Amen.
And
That's all that matters to me right
yeah,
now is making sure
Me
that
too.
child gets justice. I don't care about the other little BS shit. I just
Mm-mm.
don't. This is just horrible. And to think that this woman is setting up a defense by saying that she's
Mm,
mentally ill is making me sick.
mm-mm.
And I think that's the reason she checked herself in. She's
It
not
is.
safe. But
but
once
she's been
another,
planting the seeds, Heidi, the C-section thing. Like about,
yep.
she's
Mm-hmm.
been planting those seeds.
But let me tell you what's going to happen. The minute she goes into, even if they arrest her and they do it without bail, unless they put her in protective custody, the minute somebody finds out what she did to that child, they are going to tear her ass up.
Like quite literally.
Yep.
And let
And
me
she
tell you what
needs
I
it.
see. I see patients every day that have to get operated on from getting their asses handed to them for child crimes.
Yep.
So there's that.
So
And to
I
the
don't know.
people who are
That's
like
what
saying
Eric
like
was trying to protect her
deport her.
from.
No,
Huh?
I'm sorry.
I
Let
don't
me just
want
say,
her deported.
no,
I
no,
don't want
she
her
needs to be
deported.
here with good old Bertha and the girls from like Cell Block D. Like that's where she
Not
needs.
Bertha.
Yep, I don't want her deported. She did the crime here. She needs to do the time here. So
Yes.
that's all I'm going to say on that. But I want to say thank you guys for coming up because y'all know it's past my bedtime. Y'all already know this. I look, it's past my bedtime. And John, you did a great job again. Uh,
Yeah, you did.
yep, you did a good job.
Thank you guys.
So yeah, I did go back and I was listening and I'm reading, the stuff about Eric. I'm like, this idiot is telling on himself. He's a part of fraud. What is wrong with this man? So
Hey,
okay.
listen, I'm not saying I see the chat. I'm not saying person X did. Listen, look now. Look, come on.
Uh-oh.
I'm just.
What happened?
At least that person gave it to somebody, and and then that person ran
Talk
with. You know what I
about
mean? Like,
growth. I mean,
so
can everybody
I'm
give
not trying
John
to
a
get in a
round
whole
of
debate about
applause?
that, but at least it was. You
See, I
know,
didn't see it because I was watching, not watching, I'm listening to us talking, but my mods, whatever was said, my mod should have taken it out. Please. Person X shouldn't have been posting it on I see it for 2 days before handing over to someone to phone the police. I get it.
Well, in the name of Kumbaya, can we just give everybody, John, a round of applause for at least thanking person
no, I'm
X? I
good. I'm
mean,
good.
Yep,
Like,
yep,
um,
yep, we're good.
thank you for having me, and
Thank you
like
for coming up. I appreciate it, Brooke. Thank you. And you're emancipated
thanks.
now. I understand. Let me
I
stop.
am free as
whatever.
a bird, girl. I am free as a bird.
Let me
Yes,
stop.
ma'am.
But thank
It's
you
my
for coming.
Independence Day. What's
Girl,
what's the
I'm
date?
laughing.
The
Look at her.
23rd of July is my Independence Day.
Oh my God, Brooke, that's going to be a holiday from now on.
Hell yeah.
Oh
July
my God.
23rd.
Brooke has got her papers today, guys.
I did.
But thank you for coming up and giving us
Thanks, Heidi.
your I'm not going to say because I know you can't talk about medical things, but giving us your opinion.
My
Okay.
opinion, yeah.
Okay. So
No
I want
problem,
to
Heidi.
thank
Thank
you
you so
guys.
much.
I want to
Love
thank
ya.
everybody. Bye, guys. You guys have a great evening. Thank you for being here. And let's keep our eyes on this. And John, I'm sure is going to be on top of this. And I'm already assigned to the Vine. I'm already plugged into Adams County Sheriff's Department. So any information I see on that website, I will be sure to share with everyone. I really, really, really appreciate it. You guys have a great evening, and thank you guys for coexisting. Thank you. I really want to say thank you for that. You guys have a great evening, and I will see you probably tomorrow because I'm going to do Platteville. I watched it. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Drea, bye. Bye, Drea. Bye, Drea. See you guys later. Oh, Simply Sophie, I did your replay yesterday. And yeah, people need to listen and stop taking what other people are saying. And just go find out for themselves. Good night, everybody. Bye.